Greetings and welcome to another episode of Coaching for Coaches. Welcome to the show. Hope you're well. Let me know if you're here. Give me a like or a heart or a holler or a yo to let me know that you're here. First time that we're broadcasting on Facebook in a while. We've been predominantly on YouTube for a while, but we're here on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for a while. Today we're going to be talking about top coaching skills to master. First thing I will say is if you're a coach already and you're already doing pretty well, you've got a sustainable, regular income coming in from your coaching, and that is paying you what you feel that you need. This video may not necessarily be for you. However, if you are a coach or considering becoming a coach, thinking about becoming a coach, then stick around because you might get some value from this episode. So this broadcast ultimately comes about because I had a question come in from one of our audience members who said, Miles, if there were, the question is, Miles, what are some of the key coaching skills that you think I should master? So I thought what I would do in this video is answer that. I kind of reflected on that question overnight and thought about it. And when I look back on my journey as a coach, one of the noticeable differences for me was when I went from just coaching in a very much question and answer form to actually intentionally helping to change the client's state during a coaching session. Now, what do I mean by changing the client's state? Well, the old way of coaching, to kind of talk to that for a minute, put my phone down. The old way of coaching, now I have a mouthful of water. The old way of coaching, from my interpretation of it, was very much asking questions, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. But you see, the problem with question answer is most people, to just kind of deal with the elephant in the room, most people don't actually really want coaching. Most people don't really want coaching. Unless you're a coach actively seeking a coach because you want to practice what you preach, most people don't really want to coach. Most people don't really want coaching, rather. So you might say, well, then what do people want, Miles? If people don't want coaching, why are you selling coaching? The reason why people don't want coaching is they actually want something that's much deeper than that. And what people really want, what everybody wants, who makes a decision to buy or not buy something, putting aside a broken boiler or a head gasket gone on a car, what people really want is an emotional feeling. So let's use going on holiday, for example. No one in their right mind wants to get up at 3 a.m., sit in a cab, arrive at a location, stand in a queue for an hour and a half, stand in another queue for another hour and a half, and then sit in a confined space for 4 hours with no fresh air, get out of that confined space, stand in a queue for another hour and a half, then stand in another queue for an hour and a half, then get onto another form of transportation in a confined space, sit on that for an hour and a half, only to arrive at what they deem to be their dream destination, aka holiday resort. If you break down a holiday that way, it sounds like a freaking nightmare. I don't know about you, but that does not sound pleasant to me. Yet, I do it every year, and you probably do too. So what's my point? My point is, the reason why people spend money on holidays is because they think it's going to give them a change in their emotional state. So if you're a coach, what you've got to get really good at is forget the question and answer bit. That is the meat and potatoes of coaching still. But what you've got to get really good at if you want to stand out from all the other coaches that are just doing question and answer is you've got to get really good at changing the client's state. So you might be going, well, Miles, can you just cut to the chase and tell me how to do that? There's two ways to change the client's state, two ways to make the client feel emotionally different. Only two ways to do it. And the simplest ways to do it, the two ways to do it in a coaching session are, and you may want to write these down if you're getting value from this already. First thing you want to do is you want to change the client's breathing pattern. Why? Because science-backed research shows that changing your breathing pattern can change how you feel at a neurological level. So, for example, breathing-based practices such as meditation are scientifically proven to change your emotional state. Like, there's actual research that goes in now that shows that meditation actually works in regards to lowering anxiety levels, cortisol, any of the negative emotions that you might perceive that a person would be feeling. Meditation is scientifically proven to change those. And what is meditation at its core? Meditation at its core is breath work. Deep diaphragmatic breathing. Anybody will tell you, and you probably experience it yourself, anytime you're in a tough position, tough spot, very difficult to think your way out of that negative spiral of emotion. But if you change your breathing, you'll immediately feel different. So what you want to get good at doing during your coaching sessions, if you want to stand out above all the other coaches that are just asking questions, is the first thing you want to do is change the client's breathing. Now, in our Master Coach program, we give you a structured template of how to deliver your coaching sessions so that you know how to integrate that type of breath work in, because there's a time to do it and a time not to do it, and you need to know when to do it and when not to do it. Kind of like driving, you need to know when to accelerate and when to brake. If you get those the wrong way around, that can mess the whole thing up, cause you to crash. So that's really important. Breath work is the first one. And if you're not a meditator yourself, I highly recommend that you become one, because you don't need me to tell you. You can go on Google and read the millions of websites that speak of the benefits of meditation. So you don't need me to talk about that. But if you're not a meditator, you should consider becoming one, because it'll change your life. And ultimately, if you're going to practice what you preach for your clients, it's important that you are doing breath work and not just preaching breath work. Next thing that you need to do is you need to change the client's physiology. So a good friend of mine and mentor, Lucy Johnson, used to say, you can't outthink a bad mindset. Hi, Lucy, if you're watching. You can't outthink a bad mindset, a bit like how you can't outtrain a bad diet. You know, if you eat junk food, it doesn't matter how much training you do, your body isn't going to change. You've got to eat right for you to get the result. And so what that means is, in regards to your coaching, what's that got to do with coaching, Miles? What that means is exercise is very impossible to get out of a bad state, a bad emotional state, by just trying to think your way out of it. Which is why everybody here probably knows, if you're watching this, you'll probably know yourself, at least intellectually, that if you don't feel good and you go for a walk or a run, you feel infinitely better when you get back. Why? Because the change of breathing pattern and the physiological change elevates the heart rate, which pumps in more of the endorphins and the happy hormones, as they call them. I'm not a PT, so forgive me if I'm not speaking to that correctly. But the fact is, exercise makes you feel good. So you go, well, I can't get my client to go for a run in the middle of a coaching session. Maybe you can, but let's pretend that you're not going to do that. What you want to get really good at doing is getting comfortable, getting the client to get out of their seat, or at least changing their breathing and changing their physiology. One of the things we teach in our training is a specific type of rapid breathing pattern with clapping, with running on the spot, which is literally a matter of seconds, but it's designed to be long enough to get the client to feel different, and actually then to be able to say to you, the coach, wow, I feel really different after that. And the real power of being able to do that is because rewinding back to something I said a few minutes ago about people not really buying coaching. What they buy is a change of what people really want is to feel different. That's why they buy holidays. So what you've got to get good at doing is you've got to get good at making people feel different in a one-off coaching experience, so that they then by the end are like, bloody hell, that was amazing. Maybe I need more of that. That's what you've got to do. And in our training, our Master Coach training, we teach you how to do that, what to say, how to change the state, how to do the brief. We teach you all of that and give you a framework of what to do. So if you've not done our shameless plug, if you've not done our, get that out of the way. If you've not done our Master Coach training, then you should, or at least come on our foundation training to check it out, which is completely free. So that's it really for today's broadcast. I hope you found this useful. Really key skills to master as a coach in 2022. If you want to stand out above all the other coaches that are just asking questions, that are probably many of them struggling to get by. If you want to stand out, 2 things that you must master: changing the client's breathing and changing the client's physiology. Because, just to finish off on this one and remind you, people don't really want coaching. They want to feel different. People don't really want coaching. What they want is to feel different. What you've got to get good at doing is making the client feel different, so that they associate that more coaching with you is going to make them feel more of what they ultimately want to feel. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you click the notification button wherever that is, so you know when future videos come out. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscription bell to be notified of future videos. And other than that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next